What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to build and play Achilles and Smite, and the three main game modes I'm going to be talking about are going to be Arena, Joust and Conquest. And as always, I'll leave the timestamps in the link below for when I'm talking about each game mode, so you can go and skip to a certain part of the video if you want to see a certain game mode. Now this was requested like 2 months ago, I think, so it is a bit late, but I've had quite a lot of gods on my list and I'm trying to get through them, but I also don't play a lot of them, so I'm trying to learn them at the same time. Now also what I'm going to start doing with these god guides is I'm going to quickly run through the abilities before I do start showing the build, just so in case someone is learning the god from scratch, they know what the abilities do. So without further ado, let's get into it. His passive is basically, if you see the sword like around here on top of my head, I can either be in an offensive stance, which I'm in now, and you can see the passive over here, or I can be in a defensive stance, and you change by just basic attacking in the fountain, and the stats are shown there as well. So right now I'm in the defensive stance. You can see here I gain 325 health and then 45 protections, and if I basic attack again I gain 43 power and 6% movement speed. So this is for you to change before you leave your fountain, whether you want to go more offensive or more defensive. For example, in Arena you want to be more offensive, so I choose this part, but in Joust or Conquest I'll go for the more defensive part because it just gives you that extra tankiness and survivability in the lane. His first ability is pretty much just a damage, and I'll let that cooldown go again. If you see the first cone, the first part is where the 100% damage is, and it also stuns them for 1 second, and on the upper part it's only 85% damage, and that's just where it travels further. That's the first ability. Second ability is basically like just a generic character self buff. You'll heal from your in the next 6 seconds if you hit someone with your abilities, and the max heals per ability is 4. You'll also gain physical power, you'll also gain protections and crowd control, so pretty much before you enter a fight you want to activate your 2 and then start doing whatever you're doing, so you have those extra self buffs. Third ability is basically you dash and then you basically can hit, and then if you do hit an enemy god then you can dash again, so I'll demonstrate on a god bot here. Now it works similar to Rama dash, so it matters where you're pointing your movement arrows at the time where you dash. So I can dash there, hit someone, and because I've hit him I can dash again and do the same thing again. So it's a pretty simple ability, and his ultimate is basically he just becomes CC immune and dashes and damages the enemy god, and if they're below 30% health then you execute them like a Thanatos ult. And you can do this up to 5 times. If you kill a god then you can do it again. If you kill another god you can do it again. The only bad thing is that you do take 10% increased damage every time you execute a god, so you don't want to keep on doing it unless you want to go for the penta, and then it's going to be very unlikely, but it's going to be pretty tough. So yeah, that's the god. I'm going to start off with Arena now. Now with Arena, it is, like I say in all my god guides, it's a fun game mode. You want to be enjoying yourself, and what I see 90% of the time in Arena is that they go Achilles as damage. So of course you got to start off with the attacker's blessing, and then I like to start off with Crusher, just because it gives you that early game attack speed. Well, I can't even auto attack it. I mean, attack speed is never really bad, and when you are hitting people, you do want to be like hitting them as much as you can, and when you stun them you can get easily 2 auto attacks off, so again it's increasing your damage per second. And not to mention the tick damage it does after you do damage the enemy. It's not too much right now, you can see it's 9 per tick, but it's still not too bad, and it does increase as you go further on in the game. Next I'll go boots, and then here is pretty much your choice. If you want to be a bit more tanky you can go breastplate for your 20%. Me personally I prefer to go Jotuns just because Achilles is one of the highest damaging warriors, and it's just crazy what you can do. Whenever I see an Achilles in Arena they're always like at least 15 kills because they can so easily just go in and just kill the enemy god. I'll demonstrate on for example Ra over here, and this is just 3 items. So I'll dash, hit him, dash, hit him. Should activate that first, and you can just see it's a lot of damage. And then I can obviously ult again. So it is actually also really good. The ult is also really good because you can just kill someone and then dash away, because you do still have the option of using it again, and you're going to be CC immune. But yeah, as you just saw then, that's why I like going more damage rather than breastplate. But if you do want to go for the more tanky, I mean, you're definitely not going to be weak, because what you got to remember is, as you can see from passive, that I am getting 43 power, so I can, you know, choose to sacrifice that 40 power. But that's going to be more late game that you get the 43 power. So again, it is up to you. Next, they usually have healing, and to be honest, like a bracer or a lifesteal item, you can't really go wrong with a beat stick, so I'll choose to go beat stick after the Jotuns. Now I'll choose to go a bit more penetration and defense item, so I'll choose to go void shield, just because it does give you 15% penetration, and combined with the penetration of your three items from this branch of items, Jotuns, Brawlers, and Crusher, it is just really good, and you're going to be doing a lot of damage. We'll just go quickly and demonstrate on the Ra again. So hit him, dash away, hit him, do that, and to be fair, you don't really use your ult because you're just doing so much damage, and that will give you some more defense against the physical gods, mainly the assassin and the ADC, a bit more survivability. Last item, again, you want to go more damage. Me personally, I prefer to go Heart Seeker, just because it's even in the popular items, because Heart Seeker is just really good on him. And I'll demonstrate one last time on the Ra. I'm going to end his life. I've got that 43 power. So right now I've got 288 power. Now I've got 317 hit, dash, hit, and one more basic attack. You can actually even go Hydras. After the stun, you're going to do a lot of damage, but you know, it's up to you. You can even sell the Void Shield. If you just want to go full out 100% damage, go the Hydras, and now you can just see this Ra get absolutely destroyed. Do that. As you can see, like, I didn't even have to use my one, that's how crazy it is. And we can even demonstrate with the stun hit. That's just, there we go, he's that much health. Now if I do that and dash, I can hit him again and basic attack him once, 540. So Hydra is also really good, mainly for his one, because it stuns and then you get that free basic attack off. Not to mention you have Crusher, so you're going to be auto-attacking quick anyway. So that's why you're going to be building him in Arena. Just for the relics, like I always say, you can go wherever you want. I've got Shell and Blink here. I'll probably go Blink first and then an Aegis, just in case I do need to survive. But again, the relics are up to you. And as you can see from the build, we do have 30% cooldown, and you can finish the cooldown off with a red potion. So that's the fun way of building Achilles in Arena. Believe me, if you can get an Aphrodite on your team, you will easily get 20 kills, and you're pretty much guaranteed to win the Arena, because Achilles doing that much damage with an Aphrodite is just crazy. So that's how you want to be building an Arena. Moving on to Joust, pretty much all my warrior builds for Joust are the same. You always want to start off with Warrior's Blessing, and I like to go first tier Breastplate, which goes into full Breastplate, and Warrior Tabby. That's the generic start. And like I always say, after that I'll go the Genjis. This is just, in my opinion, the best start for any warrior. And also, like as I always say, you can swap the Breastplate and the Genjis based on if they have 2 magical or 2 physicals. And as you can see from this, we already have the 30% cooldown, and as you know, with Achilles, he is an ability based god. You want to be using your abilities as much as possible, giving yourself as much defense as you can, stunning the enemy as much as you can, so you want to get that cooldown online as much as possible, or as fast as possible. Then if you want to go more towards the bruiser build, you go shifters and void shield. If they have, like I said before, more magical, then you go runic shield. Shifters is just good in every scenario because it does give you that physical, gives you quite a decent amount of power, and it gives you that 35 magical and physical when you're below 75% health. So you do go shifters here, and then this is either a runic or a void shield. And last item, I will just go Mantle of Disco, just because when you've got like 2 or 3 people after you and that shockwave like really can save lives, they can be attacking you and the shockwave goes off and you can just dash forward. You can even ult away if it'll save you. but the shockwave is just really good from Mantle of Discord to save your life. Not to mention it gives you that 10%. So because you're a tank, I usually won't go the red potion. I'll just go for upgrading my relics, which in this case will be Magic Shell and Blink, or Med and then Magic Shell. I'll leave the Blink if I want to be more defensive, but I prefer to go Blink just because you can just blink and stun them. And it's really good for your team to just quickly pick off one person on their team. And then I won't go the red potion. Like I said before, I've got 40% here. I'll just upgrade the relics and then either save up for a 3k power potion or a defensive potion, depending on how late the game goes. But at least I know that I've got 40% just from my build. So that's how I'm going to be building Achilles in Joust. Lastly, I am going to talk about Conquest. I'll just sell these items quickly. Takes so long selling items. I wish there was like a sell all. Okay, so for Conquest, the build is not going to be, obviously, how do I put it, the best build, I think is the best way to say it. And it's not because the build's not the best, it's just because I've been playing a lot of Conquest recently, and you hardly ever see an Achilles, just because there's just so many gods in solo lane that are just better. You've got the warriors like Hercules, King Arthur, and Osiris, which are most played, and Bellona. And then you've either got an Anubis or like a Jormungandr, or you've got a Baron, and they're just like a lot better. You've even got an Aphrodite or a Chang'e that you will just rarely ever see in Achilles. So Achilles isn't really played in Conquest. Well, the like past 100 Conquest games I played, I've not seen a single Achilles, but I still think he is a really decent god, especially with the execution that he can use in his lane. So with this one, we're going to start off with a Warrior's Blessing, and then we're going to either start off with Glad Shield or Runic Shield, because sometimes you can have a magical god. So what I sometimes do is I'll just buy the Warrior's Blessing and just first tier Glad Shield, and then I'll go to lane based on who I'm versing. I might just leave the Glad Shield there, go into boots and then a Runic Shield. If it is a physical god, then obviously I will go the Glad Shield. And the reason I think he is very underrated in solo lane is because if you can see from his his abilities heal him. So not only will Glad Shield heal him, but he'll get healed from his 2 as well. Next, I will definitely go Breastplate, but like I said before, I will go the Runic Shield if it's a magical god, but I think most of the time it is physical god, so I will go this build. Bearing in mind, if it's an Aphrodite or an Anubis or any magical god, you go Runic Shield, and then you obviously go Pestilence, because magical gods like Aphrodite or Anubis do tend to heal a lot. But I'm going to go for the more common build, as it is usually physical gods. So I'm going to go a Breastplate, and that's going to give me 30% cooldown in total right now. Now's the point where I can start getting some damage. I will go Beat Stick because, like I've said in pretty much all of my videos, in Conquest there's always at least 1 or 2 healers. The Hunter will have a Gauntlet, and they will most likely end up buying an RC, and the healing will just be crazy. You want to get that Beat Stick, and not to mention there will be other gods healing like an Aphrodite, a Chang'e, an Anubis. Maybe even a Sol that she heals quite a lot with her 1. You can have a Sylvanas, you can have a Terra just healing in the background. It does get really annoying, so you want to get that Beat Stick. And then based on how you're like playing it, if it's a magical god, then you'll go Pestilence here, then Beat Stick. Then you can choose to go Breastplate if you want. But if you're facing a physical, then I will most of the time just choose to go Pestilence anyway. So you've got your 65% cooldown here. And again, Achilles is one of those gods where you can choose to sacrifice some power just cause you do get it from your passive. So if I just quickly walk out here, walk back in, you do get that 43 power, so you can sacrifice. And then last item is pretty much up to you, like I say all the time. You just look at the situation. I think Shifters is a really good item just because with Achilles, he's getting power from his 2, he's getting power from his passive. You can mid-game just choose if you want to change your stance to give you more power, more defense, if you choose to go for the more defensive strat. And then you even have a Shifter Shield. I'll quickly go here. So if I just show you guys now, I've got 187 physical protections, but if I activate this, I've got 232, and then I'll quickly go get damaged by the fire giant. And then I've just gone from 187. Well, really, I'm tanky. As you can see here, I'm like pretty tanky. I'm getting 45 protections as well. Now I've got 267, so I've almost just gotten 100 more protections. Just from my passive and Shifter's shield not actually having that much defense. So Shifters I think is really good on him. If you don't want to go Shifters, you can always choose to go for the Void Shield, as you only have 50% penetration. Or if you want to sell your Glad Shield and then go Void Shield, you can. Me personally, because I'm losing 10% cooldown, I do prefer to go something with 10% cooldown, and that will usually be a Mantle of Discord. To be fair, if they have a Scylla or really high damaging magical god, I'll go Genji's instead. But most of the time I will go a Mantle of Discord. If you feel you want to be doing more damage, like I said before, you can get the Hydras, because getting the stun off and then a basic attack is always really good. But I prefer the Mantle of Discord, just because now at this point in the game you can be like, okay, I've gotten quite a lot of defense, I'm going to change to my physical stance. So you've sacrificed that power to get Mantle of Discord, but you have gotten 43 power from your passive, and as you can see, for that build I've got 217 physical protections and 188 magical, and I still have 193 power. So that's just crazy how high that is, and you are still going to be doing damage in the game. Not to mention you just press 2 and I've got 212 power. And yeah, that's pretty much how you want to be building him there. You obviously, because you're doing solo, you're gonna go teleport, and then I'll either go like see, like I say about relics, you can go pretty much whatever you want. You can go Aegis, it's going to be really good for surviving during fights. You can go Blink to do the Blink stun, or you can even go Shell just to help yourself in team fights. Me personally, I prefer the Shell, just because when you're fighting as a team, you're going to be at the front, and then you want to pop that Shell to make you survive longer in team fights. And this is 30% cooldown, so in the end you are going to want to get a red potion to give you that max cooldown, as it does give 10% cooldown. And yeah, that's pretty much how you want to be building Achilles in Conquest. You don't really play him in tank just because he's so damaging. It's not really worth playing him as a guardian, so that's why I just prefer to play him as solo, because the only CC he's really got is his 1, which is only a 1-second stun. Now just like a tip on how to play Achilles, how to use his abilities. Obviously you want to be maxing your 1 first, because it is going to be your main source of wave clear. Then you're going to be maxing your, like, I think this part is up to you. If you want to be healing more and getting more power from your 2, you do your 2. I'll do my 1, 3, 2, 4, because the 4's damage you're mainly going to be using for executions, so you don't really care about the damage if it's going up or down. So it's just going to be your 1, 3, 2, 4, and then obviously you want to start off by clicking your 2, dashing, attacking, basic attacking, then attacking, and then doing your 1. I'll just show that one more time. So you activate your 2, do your that, basic attack, and then dash again, and you can do that again. You can stun them, and yeah, that's pretty much how you want to be using your abilities. And obviously, if you are like dying or like getting really low health, just use your ult to escape. And yeah, that's pretty much how you want to be playing and building Achilles in Arena, Joust and Conquest. I hope you guys did enjoy that video. If you did, make sure to leave a like down below. I do usually say if there's any other gods you want to see, just leave in the comments below. I am trying to get through the list like as fast as I can, like, because I got to learn quite a few of the gods as well, and I've been playing games with them, and I've seen a few Achilles in Arena, hence why I've made this video for you guys right now. But I'm sorry if it takes like quite some time to get through the list of gods. This was, like I said, like 2-3 months ago it was asked for, and I just made it. Hopefully the next video will be an Aphrodite and then an Oleron, so keep your eyes out for that video. Other than that, just yeah, leave a like down below and subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next video.